Hey, happy Monday. How are you holding up? So, different experiences of what's going on in different parts of the world, and I know a lot of my friends in the UK are struggling right now, feeling pretty despondent that they're heading back into lockdown at the end of this week. And so it seemed appropriate that that last night's retreat theme, our online retreat, was resilience. And we explored what the yoga tradition has to say about resilience. And I turned to Sutra 2.1, Tapaha Svadhyaya Ishvara Pranidhana Kriya Yogaha, which refers to tapas. Tapas is most often translated as discipline, but it's more than that. It's an enthusiasm, a burning zeal, a commitment to keep showing up for yourself. Svadhyaya is self-inquiry and study of the yoga tradition, study of ourselves. And Ishvara Pranidhana, that has different flavors of interpretation, but ultimately it's about surrendering to something greater than ourselves. So surrendering to the flow of life is probably the most inclusive way of putting it. And Kriya Yogaha, that means these are the actions of yoga. These are the three pillars of yoga. And I find those really helpful in reference to resilience, because the thing about resilience is it's tempting to think of it as a kind of armoring up. And whilst that might feel like it's working for a while to resist and have this protection over you, in the long run, actually all that happens is it depletes you, it exhausts you, it makes you brittle, and it really stops you from your own progress, from real self-knowledge, and actually creates a great deal of anxiety and fear and shrinks your world. So true resilience is actually the complete opposite of non-resistance. It's a radical journey of acceptance of what is, whether that's your feelings, your situation. It doesn't mean that you roll over and you can't do anything about it. It's not that. It's not giving up and just waving the white flag. It's about being completely honest and taking the blinkers off about where you are, what you're feeling, and then acting from that place once you've got clear. So you're moving then forward from a place of clarity. So these three pillars of yoga, they work with resilience in that the tapas is the showing up. You show up completely. You commit to the practice, you commit to doing the work, you commit to going on this journey of discovery. The svadhyaya is being willing to go into the feelings, noticing what you're feeling, noticing where you resist and run, what are your habitual escapes. And the Ishvara Pranidhana is being willing to feel the emotions and accept the situation, because you can recognize that the only way out is through. So in practical terms, how do we apply that? Well, the first step is really noticing, as is most first steps in yoga. It's awareness, it's waking up, which really is the ultimate goal and kind of the be all and end all of yoga, if you want to go big picture with it. So we notice, first of all, what our habits are, what are our habitual escapes. So it might be compulsively checking your phone, it might be eating your feelings, it might be hitting the wine bottle a little too often, it might be, my personal favourite, being hyper controlling. That's my particular favourite escape. When I feel anxious or like I haven't got a ground under my feet, I tend to want to control. And so it's not necessarily to say that, these escapes are, bad, you mustn't eat indulgent food, you mustn't have a glass of wine, you mustn't scroll on your phone. It's just about bringing consciousness to those things and being aware that you're doing them. and being aware that you're not just doing them for the fun of it, but you're escaping from something, you're running from something. So then what's that mirror holding up? What are you running from? What are the feelings that you're not wanting to go into? And guidance can really help with this, through a coach or a mentor or therapist, because it can actually develop into these escapes can develop into some really big problems. OCD, eating disorders, repetitive thoughts, addictions, they're all escapes. Everybody's who struggles with one of those conditions is unique, but very often at the heart of it, we're trying to escape from something, and I speak from personal experience here. Eating disorder was my go-to escape for a long time, and then controlling as well. I mean, it's all about the control, and it was not wanting to feel feelings. And so one of the most radical things I did was get the help to go there and show up for myself, feel the feelings, and actually, astonishingly, discovered that you don't get stuck in a feeling. It's like the weather, it passes, and it can pass through you if you just let that energy of a feeling emerge and get curious about it and dare to go into it. It's like a wave crashing over you. If you kind of go with it and soften into it and allow it, it's a heck of a lot less painful than if you keep slamming up against it. And it passes, and you come out the other side a little bit wiser, a little bit more self-knowledge, and a little bit more resilient. So I hope that's of interest, helpful to you. If you would like to explore that whole retreat that we did yesterday, you can find that by going to the link in my bio. You'll find retreat bookings, and you can buy the recording on there. And our next one will be the first Sunday of November. No, we're already in November, aren't we? First Sunday of December. So the first Sunday of every month. Have a beautiful week. Look after yourself. Stay resilient. Namaste.